And welcome back to the UIA Trusted Partners Podcast. On today's show, I have another nonprofit joining the show, but a very important one, and we're going to dive completely into it. More importantly, I have Anna Lehotyak. Did I get the name right? Lehotyak?
Yeah.
I stumbled across it. How about this? Anna Lehotyak. Lehotyak. Dang it. I knew I was going to do it. But you are the development director for the Nebraska Diaper Bank.
Yeah.
Anna, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day out.
It is. And, a little fun fact behind the camera, we're having a little pizza shindig. We got some from Rosati's over on 144th. None of us have had it here in the office.
Okay.
So this is, we tried it. Oh my, their deep dish is phenomenal.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I have a friend that he's like, it's the place. It is the only place you need to go for pizza.
It's pretty solid. So,
and it's close to you guys.
It really is too. So we're kind of hyped up about that. So shout out to Rosati's, but not sponsored. Could be sponsored though. For the listeners at home and maybe those who haven't been able to hear about it, don't know much about it, can you give us a little insight as to what is the Nebraska Diaper Bank and how long have you been serving the Omaha and surrounding areas?
Yeah, you bet. Nebraska Diaper Bank, our mission is to provide diapers through collaborative partnerships to change lives and empower families in need. That's a whole bunch, right? But what that means is we found out that there's a ton of families here in Omaha and across the state of Nebraska that struggle to afford a lot of things for their family. And one of those things is diapers. And there aren't any other organizations in the state that address diaper need. And so that's why we exist. We've been in Omaha for almost 11 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, we started. Thank you. Yeah, we started here in Omaha in 2014. So we're coming up on our 11-year anniversary. And we've expanded to the rest of the state over our course. And we've been in Lincoln since 2023. We've been in Norfolk, Scottsbluff, Kearney since 2022.
Wow.
And the whole northeast region of the state. So
really starting to kind of tendril and sprawl across the whole Nebraska here. I love that, though. That's so great. And we're going to get into as to maybe why a diaper bank and some of those things in the show here a little bit later down the road. But I got to start by getting to know you a little bit better on this. So I'm very, very curious on your answer. Where this calling and this passion, or maybe just the drive, came from to join this type of organization, and let alone stepping into your role.
Okay, yeah, wow, that could be a whole podcast in and of itself. I started 6 years ago at the Diaper Bank.
Wow.
My history was I had a job. My oldest is 15 now. So when he was born, I decided to stay home. Mm-hmm. And so I had my 3 kids. I was a stay-at-home mom. And during that time, I got really involved with a group called MOPS. It stands for Mothers of Preschoolers. And it's just a support group to help moms during that first stage of life.
Right.
We get together, we connect, we have adult time, the kids go to childcare. It's something to look forward to. There's also, we always have speakers and just kind of just help expand our knowledge and help support each other through birth to 5 years old. So I got really involved with that as my time as a stay-at-home mom. And throughout that process and going into leadership in that and leading a group, I realized that I had a huge passion for that. And I had a passion for supporting moms specifically and making sure that they felt like they weren't alone, making sure they felt like they had what they needed to be the best mom they could be. And so I thought that was it for me. I thought I'm a stay-at-home mom. This is my thing now. I love it. When my youngest went to kindergarten, I was still running my own MOPS group. I'd started a second group. And I met Tegan, who's the executive director of the Diaper Bank. And we became fast friends. And I got to hear all about the work she was doing. And I thought it was really cool. It was largely volunteer run. She was barely getting paid. But she got a grant to hire a second person and grow what she was doing. And she asked if I would be interested. So I thought that's really interesting. I never thought about that. But it was 10 hours a week. It was so easy.
Right.
And it put a lot of the skills that I had into practice. And so I said yes. And so I got to put not only my skills, but my passion. I realized very quickly, yes, this lines exactly with what I care about doing and supporting moms. And so I got to learn everything about what we were doing. It was just the 2 of us. It was very small at the time. But then when we had a need to hire somebody to do the development work and fundraising, I was asked to move into that role basically because I am so passionate about what we do. It's easy to go out and talk about it. So that's my background.
Yeah, I love it. And it just makes sense, of course, to move you into that role. I love that it comes from a place of passion as well. I always love when people's motives are driven by the passion rather than, just making a lateral move here or doing this, side something here, things like that. But, everybody's got their own passions that drive them. And I love that that's where it kind of all started, just being at home with your own kids and your own family. I think that's really, really neat how that ties into today and how we step into what a diaper bank is, why diapers, and a diaper bank, I think, is probably the best opening question I think I can ask about the diaper bank.
Let's do it. Why a diaper bank?
Yeah.
Well, diapers are a huge need for families with babies, right? A diaper is a basic need. It's just as essential to a baby's health and well-being as shelter and food and clothing. But when you struggle to afford everything you need for a family, diapers are one of the first things that they go by the wayside.
Sure.
You need to pay rent. You need to pay for food. You need to pay your utilities. You need to pay for your car. All those expenses add up, and very often there's just not enough left over for diapers.
Yeah.
So families with diaper need, they end up having to make really hard choices and do things that they know they shouldn't do. And so we exist to basically alleviate that for families. Diaper banking specifically, we are a bank because there's no way we can reach everyone who has diaper need with one organization. And it really actually doesn't serve anybody very well. If we were to just set up a shop and open our doors and say, come get diapers, that's okay. That's helpful, but it's much more helpful for families in need to go to one place and get all the things they need.
Yeah.
So that's the banking method, is partnering with the other organizations who are already serving those families. Those organizations have really great programs that are helping break that cycle of poverty, and we get to provide the diapers as an extra incentive there. So that's why.
I kind of like that. It makes sense. It's one of those things. I'm not, as a person who does not have a child, I wasn't quite super aware of how big of a diaper need really there is until I started doing my homework, inviting you onto the show, because that's what I like to do, is interview and kind of research my guests a little bit. But quite the fascinating amount of number that you guys have hit. Over 11 million, actually, diapers that have been provided thus far.
Yeah.
First of all, I need my big applause, but I need lights that flash and things like that. I'm just curious how that process works from an outside person who doesn't really know much about this, in a way that it's, I'm there involved directly with it. I'm very curious how that process works from a person needs some support with diapers, or maybe how the organization operates breaking those out.
Yeah, absolutely. So our model is the partnership model. So when a family has diaper need, they obviously they have other needs too. A lot of times it's food. So a food pantry is a really natural partner for us. But there's also a lot of other needs that families have: education services, healthcare services, other case management support, birth and postpartum outcomes. So our model is to get out into all those organizations, those nonprofits that have awesome programs. And then the diapers are given to the families when they show up. So they're showing up because they need food.
Right.
And then they find out they can also get diapers. And it's just such a huge relief for families. So when we started, we did direct service.
Right.
We started as a little food pantry ourselves and gave diapers. And we learned really quickly that diapers were a hole, and that maybe we could fill that hole for our community. So we learned all about it and learned what we could do. And but serving face to face, we got to really connect with those families and hear about what their struggles were and hear what their pain points were. And so we decided this was the best method to get the diapers into the community. And then also, with everything else, families shouldn't have to travel across the city, or families shouldn't have to go one place for this or that. So our model is just really synergistic, and that's kind of how we do it.
And again, I just wanted to reaffirm that for the listeners and viewers at home, because again, going from maybe that thought in their head of, I just need to go online and they'll ship it to me, trying to break people a little out of that since COVID. So it is one of those, you got to go to the partnership kind of facilities, which makes a lot more sense. I'm with you. I love the model because it makes sense if you're going somewhere for help. It makes sense to partner up with somebody else to help fill that hole, like you're saying. So I just wanted to reaffirm that for our viewing audience, that if they are in that need, that's where they and how they can get the support that they do need.
Absolutely, yeah. We have 34 partners across the state. 28 are here, right here in Omaha. So, really, no matter where you live or what your needs are, you should be able to find an organization nearby that you can go and get diapers from.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, I know you probably get asked a lot about this, but how can we kind of help those facilities, or how can we help support?
Yeah. The best support that we can get is either through diaper drives, donating actual diapers, or because we give so many diapers, right now we're giving about 300,000 diapers every single month. We purchase a large majority of the diapers through purchasing channels that we have access to as a diaper bank.
Gotcha.
So if you donate funds, we can almost double the amount of diapers.
Wow.
That is like versus you going to a store and just purchasing a pack.
Look, we know Costco's great, but
right? Yeah.
A wholesaler might be a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a couple ways. We just launched The Village. So The Village is our monthly donors giving circle. You've probably heard the phrase, it takes a village to raise a baby. So we are inviting everybody to be that village for families in our community who need that help. And by joining, you get access to exclusive swag. So we have it all branded out. It's super cool. You get a t-shirt. You also get access every month when your donation goes through. You get to hear about a family that you helped and how those diapers really advanced them forward. And it's super easy. It's $18 a month, diapers a baby in our community. So it's a very low entry. That's how I would say synergistic our model is.
Yeah.
So.
And I just kind of wanted to put that out there for the listeners at home again, because it is important to get involved. It's important to support where you can and when you can.
Absolutely.
And we all know that times are a little tough for certain places, certain nonprofits, certain industries in general. So it's one of those, if the call for help goes up, Nebraska is usually pretty good about responding.
Absolutely. Yeah. We just had a news story on it was about 2 weeks ago. We have a high need for size 5 and 6 diapers specifically. 5 and 6 is the majority of what we give out to families as the most requested sizes. So we have the hardest time keeping those in stock. And so we asked the news to help share that. And the support has just been really incredible, and the response to that. But it's an ongoing thing.
Sure.
So, joining the village is a great way. Also, hosting a diaper drive.
Yeah.
Or just donating packs of diapers. We have on our website, we have drop-off locations all across Omaha and in Lincoln. There's one in Lincoln. So you can just pick up a pack of diapers next time you're at Target or Costco and drop them off at a location, and those will go out to the community.
I love that, and I wanted to highlight those as well. That yes, there are plenty of spots you can go around. There's not just one that you got to go find somewhere in town by maybe it's still there. No, there's a lot of them. So love the fact that you guys also do some pretty big kind of fundraisers and events and things like that. And in fact, here at UIA, we were fortunate enough to be a whole sponsor for your Champions Golf outing. A few weeks back. So I am just a little curious, and I know this didn't make the sheet on here. How did the golf outing end up? I know we had to kind of pack up towards the end because it started raining on us.
Yeah,
but right at the very end, it was perfect timing.
It was. I think almost everyone was inside.
Yeah. I was like, I think we saw the last guys hitting the hole, and we're like, I think we can pack up. We're fine. And then everything started coming down.
Yeah.
Cooling us off.
Thank you to UIA for that support.
Of course.
That is a huge event for us. We raised almost $25,000 in that single event to help us get diapers out into the community. I want to say, I can't remember off the top of my head how many babies that will serve, but it is in the thousands of babies.
That's incredible. So hats off to Core Bank as well, because I know they're the ones that kind of host and organize that. So big shout outs to them as well. It's a very fun event to be a part of, so always happy to be involved.
Great.
But do want to highlight, where can us as viewers, followers, and all these different synonyms for all these different social media sites out there, how can we find you and help support that way?
Yeah, we are currently on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. It's very simple. Nebraska Diaper Bank is our handle. You can find us there. We like to post a lot of what we do. So we have a ton of volunteers that come in. So a lot of our posts are thanking our volunteers. We simply can't do what we do without them. So we want to make sure they get the shout outs they deserve for coming in and helping us get diapers ready for the community. We also, post our successes and help raise awareness on our channels.
Yeah, I love it. And I did a little deep dive on some of the socials as well. So very, very neat what you guys kind of share and what you guys kind of just highlight for people. It's very fun. Go check them out again on all the social media platforms. Speaking of events, we talked a little bit about a past event. Anything upcoming that you want to help promote or anything that we can be supportive of?
I would love that. Yeah. Our major fundraiser is called Music to Their Rears.
Okay, I love that.
I always pause for effect there.
You have to. I mean, it's too good.
That is it's a Thursday evening. I call it a mini gala. It's not a big to-do, but it's a really fun, inspiring evening where we get together. We celebrate the community through different cultural music acts.
Love that.
One of the things that blew me away when I started at the Diaper Bank and when we were still serving families face to face is seeing the different cultures that were right here in Omaha. I feel like sometimes they get hidden in different parts of the city. And I was just blown away at all the different and the variety that was there. And so when we came up with an event, I thought it'd be really cool to showcase that at our event because we know those are the families we're serving, and let's highlight them and the beauty of their culture through the power of music. So that's what we do. We have 3 different cultural music showcases. Hosted cocktail bar. We have like little mini desserts. So if you have a sweet tooth, that's perfect. It's after the dinner hour. So it's like 7 to 9:30 p.m. on a Thursday evening, September 18th.
September 18th. Okay, do we need to get tickets in advance for that?
Yeah, tickets go on sale August 1st on our website, nebraskadiaperbank.org. We also are still looking for some sponsors to help fill in the gaps there. Sponsorship is really a great way to support us and also show the community that you support what we're doing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have a link down in the description of this episode. So while you're watching this, you can click onto that while we're talking about this. So if you want to become a sponsor or, sponsor, right word for that, for this event, or want to get your tickets, absolutely. You can click right on that link as we continue our conversation. Now, one of my fun questions I love to ask people, because I get a lot of very different and very odd answers in the best way.
Okay.
And I mean that in the best of ways too, because it is one of those, I feel like each industry has their own just oddities. We'll put them that way.
Okay.
So my next question for you though is for those of us back here behind, in front of the curtain, we never get to peek back there. What's part of the job that you feel just never gets the spotlight or attention or the praise it deserves?
Part of my job? That is a good question. And that was like one that I really struggle to think of a good answer for. But I think I have to go to our staff.
Sure.
And just like shout out to our staff because it's so special where I work and what I do. I wouldn't do this for any other organization. What we've built in our staffing is incredible. We have a staff of 7.
Love that.
And we're small and mighty. We cranked out 3.5 million diapers with 7 people.
Yeah, that's quite the feat.
And a ton of volunteers, but we've built such an incredible internal organization, and I'm so proud of the way that we all collaborate together and the way that our skills just intertwine. A lot of people don't get to see that.
Yeah.
So I think that would be something that I would love to share with the behind the scenes.
See, I'm already sensing a podcast for the Diaper Bank that's about to happen.
Oh yeah, I have somebody on my staff. Their ears just perked up.
They're like, oh, I could do something like that. I think that'd be a really fun part of the Diaper Bank anyway. But no, I do love that because having those core key people like that, mountain of difference.
Yes.
A lot of people, I think sometimes we grow too familiar with it or grow complacent with them until they're gone or until they go on vacation even, and people are oh yeah, we really need them in the building. Yeah. So I really, really appreciate that answer too. Although, staff, wonderful, everything usually operates smoothly. I will say usually because Murphy likes to ride shotgun occasionally. Speaking of him, though, what has been one of those challenges or maybe obstacles that you've had to overcome either for the organization itself or for the individuals you're serving?
A huge challenge for us is just meeting the demand.
Sure.
We currently serve about 5,000 babies a month, but we know just from census data that there's just in Omaha, there's over 12,000 babies a month that need diapers. So trying to just figure out how we can do better and reach more every single year is our biggest challenge. And really the funding is the biggest piece of that. Yeah. Operationally, we have our capacity. We know what we can do. We can do a ton more with what we have and the efficiencies we have in place. But without that funding, because like I said, we purchase most of the diapers that we give out. They're not donated to us because at that scale, it's just how it happens. Mm-hmm. Once we get more funding, we have a wait list currently of 44 organizations that want to partner with us. And we're just working on building up funding so we can say yes to some more of those and reach all those babies that need diapers.
It's for the babies.
It's for the babies.
So definitely click on the link below, because on your guys' website, there's ways to volunteer, there's ways to donate, there's ways to get involved all across your website.
Absolutely.
So just wanted to make another point of that. Click on down there while we're talking here, and you can have us in the background.
Yeah.
I do always like to ask, just because I'm very curious, since you've been here about 6 years, you said, with the organization, and before that you were with MOPS, and that was essentially not a successor, or a predecessor, I should say, but almost like a spiritual predecessor to it.
Exactly.
I'm just so curious, what's one of the better moments, or just something that sticks into your brain every time you think back on your time that the Nebraska Diaper Bank's been able to give you?
Gosh. I mean, quite a few come to mind, and they're all interactions that I've had with families that we've served. One of the families, this was pretty early on, but I would say there's probably not a week that goes by that I don't think of Veronica. I never got to meet her face to face, but I spoke with her on the phone. So every year we do an impact survey with our families. And it's anonymous, and when the family's stopping by the partner to get their diapers, they're asked to just fill out this quick survey. And it tells us how getting diapers helped the family in obvious and really not some so obvious ways. So we'd gotten the surveys back, and I was going through and entering the data on that. She had written on her survey, like, can somebody please call me? I need some assistance. And left her phone number, and I thought surely our partners probably had seen that. So I picked up the phone and I got to call Veronica and spoke with her, and she shared her entire story with me, and it just puts into perspective everything. But she visited our partner, and it was her first time ever having to ask for help because she decided to leave a domestic violence situation.
Oh, wow.
So she had 4 children, and her youngest was still in diapers, and she was in a relationship, but it wasn't healthy and it wasn't safe for her and her kids. And so she finally got up the courage to pick up and leave. Mm-hmm. And she said they left with nothing but the clothes on their backs and stayed with a friend. And so she found herself, for the first time in her life, in a position where she needed to ask for help. And so she went to our partner because they had a food pantry, and she was able to get food to help with her family. And she was offered diapers, and she had no idea that that was something that she could get. And when she was offered diapers for her youngest, she said she was just overcome with relief because she didn't know where she was going to get that from and didn't know that that was available to her. And what she said to me was, somebody had hope for me, and now I have hope for myself.
Wow.
And that's that's what diapers do for families. They provide hope, and they provide a path forward. And so there's probably not a week that goes by that I don't think of Veronica. And so what she actually needed help with was housing. So now that she was on her own, she needed to secure some housing for her and her children. And so because we have this extensive partner network, I knew some of our partners do that work. So I was able to provide her with a couple resources and asked her to call those partners and talk to them about getting help. And I did follow up with her a couple months later, and she had secured an apartment and was on her way. She had a job and was on her way to being self-sufficient.
Love that. Congratulations, Veronica, wherever you are out there. Hopefully you see this and you kind of reach out and maybe reconnect with you and let you know how she's doing. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, what an amazing thing. Yeah, that is so fun to kind of reflect on some of those things that man, just that one story from way long time ago now. You blink and it's...
Gosh, 5 years. Yeah. Probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
And think about that, too. A year into the organization. Yeah. That's one of the key pieces that stuck out. Mm-hmm. I love that. Now, my final question here before we get to the fun side of the question. I always like to ask this because sometimes the answers kind of surprise me here. But what is something here that you want us viewers to know more about, either when it comes to the Nebraska Diaper Bank or about your industry in general?
Oh, gosh, yeah. One of my favorite things to talk about, like I mentioned, is the impact that diapers make.
Sure.
In the survey, what the surveys show us every year. But one thing we say all the time is that a diaper is so much more than just a diaper. And what that means is by having that steady supply, it advances the family in so many different ways. So what I'd love to share is just that impact that a diaper can have. Last year in 2024, our survey results showed us that 78% of families said their baby was healthier, happier, and or sleeping better. So that's kind of obvious, that a baby would be healthier because they got their diaper changed as soon as they needed it.
Yep.
Because the alternative is the baby's sitting in a dirty diaper and it causes diaper rash. It can lead to infections and things like that. But the sleeping better always gets me, because if the baby can sleep through the night because they're in a clean, dry diaper, then that means mom and dad are getting better sleep. Sleep is huge for me, so personally. So I remember back in the days when I had my babies and, you were just praying for a good night's sleep every night. Mm-hmm. So I'm so proud of the fact that we are helping parents get better sleep. 78% of our families are able to use their finances for other things they need. Obviously, if you don't have to pay for diapers, then you can buy the other things that your family needs. Food, clothing, babies, those kids grow so fast, they constantly need new clothes and new shoes and things like that. And our families can use their money towards the things that they really need to purchase. Another one is stress. So 68% of our families say that their overall stress is reduced simply because they have enough diapers. And if you can put yourself in the position just for a minute to think about how stressful that could be. I know you're not a parent, but think about
younger siblings I helped raise.
I'm sure you can think about, what would you do if you ran out of diapers?
Yeah.
What's the alternative? There's not a lot of great solutions. So families who are stretching every dollar are constantly worried. They're constantly worried about what they're going to do when they run out. Or how are they going to make sure they don't run out? What are they going to do to stretch that supply? Mm-hmm. Most of our families are working families. So at least one adult in the household has a job. 91% of those families are working. A lot of them actually also access daycare. And so, but when you bring your baby to daycare every day, you're bringing those diapers. Mm-hmm. And so when you drop your baby off at daycare, they usually have a requirement because they have to make sure that baby is clean and healthy and safe in their care. So they're changing that baby every 2 hours, whether the baby needs it or not. So those diapers you need to bring, let's say 4 to 6 every day when you drop your baby off, or always have that supply. And if you're constantly running out of diapers, that means maybe you're not able to bring your baby to daycare for the day. So families, the stress part of it is they're constantly today's Tuesday, I don't get paid till Friday. I don't have money to buy more diapers and I only have 15 diapers. How am I going to make it through the week?
Right.
Or what am I going to do if I run out? Or how am I going to make sure I can get my baby to daycare on Thursday? So that's just a constant worry. And so when they get diapers from us, that is gone for them. They no longer have to worry. They know they have enough diapers to make it through the week, which is awesome. And then along with daycare, we know 28% of our families say that they're able to go to their job every day because they have enough diapers. So we're keeping families employed. We're keeping them earning their full income potential every day. So
definitely a worthwhile and helpful organization, to say the least. Anna, thank you very, very much for hanging out with us so far on the show. We just got a couple more questions here for you.
I love it.
Yeah, of course, for the viewers, if you are skipped ahead or you forgot already, we're sitting down with the development director of the Nebraska Diaper Bank, Anna Lehotyak.
Lehotyak.
I'm going to get it one of these days. I promise. I promise I'll get it. I'm not that bad with names.
No, it's a tricky one. I always say I married for love, not for the last name, so...
I like that phrase. That's actually pretty funny. Alrighty. Well, on to the fun portion of the show. Unless there's anything that I maybe missed about the Nebraska Diaper Bank that you wanted to share or reiterate for anybody.
I think we're good. I could go on and on and on, but I know most people just won't absorb it. So,
but they can find all the information on your guys' website, which is down in the comments below. Plus, they can always reach out if they've got more in-depth questions. We'll put them that way.
We would love that. We love to give tours. We love to. I guess one thing if you're interested in volunteering, we're a great place to volunteer. I would just say that real quick. We have built a huge and very intentional volunteer experience. So your time with us really is impactful. So I would encourage everyone to come check that out.
Go be a volunteer today if you've got that itch that needs scratched. That's for sure. So, fun thing that we like to do now on the show, a friend of the show, Blake Martin with FriendNet, was on. He gifted me this box of random questions saying, maybe you can use them. Don't know if you will. And I was like, all right, thanks, Blake. That sounds about right. So this section that's closest to you is the section unused. This is all questions that have been asked. Okay. But you're more than welcome to pull from either side.
Okay.
So up to three total if you'd like. And then you get to choose if you'd like to have me just answer or if we want it back and forth.
Okay. All right. I love randomness. So we're just gonna see what happens. Okay.
I'm going to turn these the other way so I don't get to see them.
What one fear would you like to conquer?
Ooh. I don't have a lot of fears. I don't think it's a fear, but I'd probably say apprehension would probably be going into like the deep parts of the ocean or something like that. Like something like that. I'm like, I don't know if it's a full-blown fear, but it's always just like the ocean is enormous and we don't know what's in it.
100%. 100%. I was just in San Diego last week. And I love the ocean, but at some point you're like,
when you can't see
what else is in here? Or the seaweed touches your leg and you're like, I'm done.
I love
That's a good one. I'm going to say, gosh, I don't feel like I have a ton of fears either, but one thing I know, I'm going to get real deep here, is the fear of no.
Oh, sure.
Right? Like I feel like I'm trying to learn that no is just an answer, and it doesn't reflect. So
it's a tough hill to climb over.
It is. Yeah. It is. But I'm very aware of it. So hopefully soon we'll have conquered it. Yeah.
We'll get it conquered.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Should we do? I'm going to.
Sure. A previous use?
I gotta know. Oh, wait, we did. So you flipped it around.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm going to do this. Okay.
Tricked her.
Which American landmark would you most like to see?
Well, I've seen the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
I saw the World Trade Center Memorial.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one.
It's a very good one. I've seen Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
I guess I haven't seen DC or any of the monuments over there or the Grand Canyon. I think those would be probably the two that I would bounce between.
Yeah, those are good ones. I likewise have seen most of those. I actually haven't been to Mount Rushmore, and I would say that's definitely one. My bucket list is probably Glacier National Park.
I didn't even think
up in Montana.
Of that one. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen pictures and I'm like, I just feel like I have to go.
Montana is very beautiful.
Yeah.
I went up there one year. I forget. I think I was like 10 or so with my dad because my uncle lives out there. Nice. And it was just beautiful every single day. But then he tells me about the snow and I'm like,
we'll visit in the summer.
Yeah. It'll be strictly summer visits.
Cool. All right. Let's do one more. Would you stop eating all junk food to live 5 years longer?
No.
Easy, right?
That's an easy one. No.
Heck no. I can't live without my French fries.
Yeah, Mike. Half of my favorite foods are considered junk. So.
Yeah. I
guess we're 5 years short.
I can live with that.
I think so too. I think I can live with it too. I love it. A little bit of fun randomness to kind of quirk up the show a little bit. Now, speaking of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Even though you haven't been, I do love to ask people, and I kind of phrase it in the sense of if I'm calling you up and I'm coming into Omaha, I've never been here before, I say, hey, I'm going to go check out some stuff while you're at work. What do you tell me to go check out? What do you consider your Mount Rushmore that I've got to go see?
Gosh, that's such a good question. One of the first things that came to my mind, and I think it's probably because it's a tradition in my family, right before my kids go back to school. We always go do the tree rush at Fontenelle Forest.
Okay.
And it is, I mean, I guess if you like heights, it's amazing. If you don't like heights, you don't do it.
Not advised.
But it's so much fun. I think it's so unique. And I mean, Fontenelle Forest in general is incredible. So spend the whole day, I would say. Their raptor recovery is the best. It's so unique, and just being in the forest. I feel like it's so cool to be able to be in the forest in the Midwest. So I love that.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to Fontenelle Forest. What do I go get for lunch afterward?
Okay. So, well, what we do. So my kids are 15, 14, and 12. So we've got teenagers nowadays, and they're super fun. A couple years ago, we kind of started this tradition where right before school starts, or maybe right after sometimes if we don't get in time, we go down to Stella's in Bellevue.
Yep.
It's such a tiny little place, and it's so good. It's best to go at like maybe not the normal like lunch or dinner rush. So we try and go like after lunch, and we get Stella's, and then we go up to the forest.
Like that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Stella's in a long time. You know, I think the last guy that was talking to me about it was like, yeah, you always go there for the steak. I was like, am I thinking of a different restaurant?
Burgers.
Yeah, I might be thinking of a different restaurant.
Okay. It's this tiny little place in Bellevue. Stella's, they're famous for, literally all they do is, I think, burgers.
Interesting. I gotta
It's
be
been around forever. Like, my husband kind of grew up in South Omaha, so he grew up going there, and he talks about how back in the day, they literally, it was just burgers and fries, and the burger was served on a napkin. Like, here's your burger.
I love that.
It's fantastic. Go check it out.
I don't know who I crossed my wires with there. For what restaurant, because it starts with an S, I swear, and it was like, he says it's the best steak place he'll ever go. And
okay.
I'll have to figure that out and let you know. I love that. Now, last question here on the show. And then I got to cut you free because I can't hold you the whole day.
Okay.
Here in Omaha, and obviously you probably know this more than most, there is so much to do, to support, to know about, to just try to involve yourself with.
Yeah.
I like to ask, what is something here in Omaha that you wish people either knew more about or supported more?
Yeah. You're right. First of all, Omaha is such a rich community with nonprofits and for-profits, and the way we all work together is amazing. And the supports that we have, especially in the nonprofit sector, outstanding. It's incredible. And what that makes me think of is Share Omaha.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with the nonprofit sector, or you don't really, like, it feels overwhelming because you don't really know where to start. You don't know what's out there. Share Omaha is for you. They are a great network that helps support all of us nonprofits here in Omaha through building awareness and events, and really connecting their job is to connect the community with nonprofit to support. So their website's incredible. You can search for volunteer activities. You can search for nonprofit events. You can just learn what's out there. And I think if you want to know how to support in the community, that's the best place to start.
I love that.
Yeah.
Appreciate the shout. I'm sure they do as well.
Yeah.
Now, all right. I got it this time.
Let's do it.
Anna Lehotyak.
Yeah. You did it.
I did it.
Where's the applause button?
I killed the audio there by clapping. Sorry about that, everybody. But I have had the distinct pleasure to sit down with you, the development director, not the executive director, the development director with the Nebraska Diaper Bank. Before I cut you free, is there anything else you want to leave us and the viewers off with?
No, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here, and thank you, UIA, for hosting this podcast. This is amazing, and we always love the opportunity to be able to just spread awareness and make sure people know what we do and why we're doing it. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you all at our next volunteer experience.
Yes, absolutely, and don't forget about that event coming up on September 18th. Get that information down in the link below. Anna, thank you again for joining the show.
Thank you.
Of course, and viewers, thank you for joining. We can't do it without you. Of course, we're always going to have more next time, right here on the UIA Trusted Partners Podcast.